What is up, guys? My name is Wumbo and welcome back to the Game Chat. Today I've got an interesting story, something that I was reading about that I really didn't know if it was actually like a big deal at all at first. I didn't really seem to care about it, but you know what? The more I thought about it, the more I realized this is kind of ridiculous. So apparently, creating hacks for online games or cheating in general in online games could now earn you jail time in South Korea. So according to a PvP Live report, anyone convicted of doing any sort of cheating on online games, whether that be creation of aimbots, wall hacks, cheating in an online game that violates the game's terms of service, doing any of those things, you could face up to 5 years in prison or $43,000 in fines. In these laws, they don't target just esports specifically. If they were maybe targeting like a professional industry like that, you know, I could kind of understand that. But it's basically just this vague piece of legislation that says that anyone that's cheating in an online game, they can face these kind of penalties. So game makers like Valve, Blizzard, and Riot, there's no one stopping them from saying that anyone who's cheating could face these kind of penalties. So those companies are going to be able to use this new law as a weapon to fight against cheaters, just in South Korea, obviously. But it's basically up to their discretion. It is up to their discretion. It's completely vague. They can do whatever they want. So, this kind of vague legislation could allow someone who maybe is being a little bit of a troll online to be considered a cheater and then all of a sudden thrown in jail for 5 years. What this law does is criminalize the act of cheating, basically, as opposed to profiting in some way specific through cheating. So this could obviously potentially lead to a ton of unintended consequences. It even could open the door to abuse on the developer side, as I've stated. It's impossible to nail down the situation without having the full law at hand, but if anything that contravenes a game's terms of service is against the law, wouldn't that incentivize developers to load those terms with restrictive language? Wouldn't these developers basically just throw out a bunch of random garbage in the terms of service to try to get people to violate it so that they can knock them with this law and take their cash? Seems a little bit sketchy to me. Obviously, modding, that's just a bit of a question here. Is that considered cheating? Could that be forbidden? Is that what falls under this law? Could you be thrown in jail for 5 years for modding Skyrim on your PC? Nobody really knows. Now, some people might say, look, people that are jerks online, people that are cheating, nobody likes them. We might as well throw them in jail for 5 years, or at least give them some sort of penalty, right? But, think about it. You're allowed to deflate a football in the NFL and not get thrown in jail. Why do we need to throw people in jail for 5 years or fine them $43,000 for modding a game or, some sort of really pointless cheating online? I think this whole thing is kind of ridiculous. I'm interested in hearing what you guys think. On the surface, I guess you could argue that maybe they're trying to counter like cheating in like gambling or competitive activities. I don't know. Maybe you could argue that that's okay, but the vagueness of what we have in terms of information right now with this law is a little bit sketchy to me. I also thought it was interesting that the South Korean government actually cares at all about online games. I guess that shows how big of an interest people have in South Korea with games. I think that comes sort of from esports. I know in South Korea and some of those other countries around there, they're really big on esports, League of Legends, and those kind of things. And I thought that was interesting too, because here in the United States, obviously, networks like ESPN have tried airing esports, and then everyone just hates on it, calling it not a sport. So I don't know. It was interesting to me that a government actually had enough vested interest in video games to actually care about writing legislation to impact the video game industry. Anyway, thought I'd share this interesting story with you guys. If you guys thought it was interesting at all, or you have any comments about what you think about it, if you think I am looking at this in a completely wrong way and you want to convince me that this thing is an actually really effective law, go ahead and leave a comment down below and I'll go ahead and check that out. I always reply to comments. I'm always making sure we're getting the facts straight down there. Also, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're interested in more of what we have here at the Game Chat. My name is Wumbo. I'll see you next time.